Microsoft versus FTC trying to get Activision purchased. You know the whole story there. But a whole bunch of slides and internal documents came out from this legal battle, and it shows like Microsoft's plans up to 2028. It's the biggest, I don't want to say leak. It's a leak in the sense that we weren't meant to see it, but it wasn't like somebody stole information and leaked it. It's the biggest like information dump that I can think of in gaming ever. Like we saw old stuff from Nintendo, but we didn't see like plans going forward. This is, like I said, 2028. We've seen like their plans for their mid-gen refresh for the Xbox Series X and S. We've seen like games in development that we didn't know about. Like it's a huge drop of information.
That stinks for them, probably.
And
right?
Everybody was like, what happened? How'd this happen? And the FTC came out and was like, it was not us. And they said it again, like it's a few days later. They were like, just to clarify, everybody, we did not do this. So Microsoft didn't secure things like they should have. It's Microsoft's fault that this all came out. So.
Oh, man.
And they're not denying it. Like they're not saying this is, the only thing they've said is like, this is documents from a couple of years ago, but they're not saying like this was false or this was stolen or this is fake.
That's
it's legit. But they're just like, things have changed a lot in the last couple of, so, they're just
like
trying
a dog and pony show over there now. They used to be awesome, and now they are just a dang joke.
I don't know how this happens. This is just a situation of somebody not dotting their I's or crossing their T's. Like, this should be
lowercase J's.
This should have been taken care of. Yes, we all love Wayne's World here. We're all big fans.
That's what some of us love Wayne's World 2 even better.
But yes, it's embarrassing that it happened for them. But it gave us all sorts of fun things to talk about. Like Xbox's vice president of marketing not wanting the Switch to be called a console. This shows you how, like, in the minutia these companies get about phrasing and all the silly stuff that no one ever thinks of. Yet these companies are like, we have to do this because if we're not perceived this way, this is going to be a disaster.
I have to give them credit for that, right? Because that's the way the world works. You get torn apart for every little...
I think to a degree, yes. But to this degree, I think it's a moot point.
Now, I don't really understand the story here. So they're saying if they acquired Nintendo, they couldn't...
No. Or that's a completely different story, unrelated.
So they're just saying if we mention Nintendo in press or whatever, don't ever call the Switch a console. I'll
tell you exactly what happened here. So Microsoft and Nintendo have been working together for a while. Microsoft has put out a number of their games on the Switch, like Ori or whatever. It doesn't matter. And they've been very buddy. And we see behind the scenes, yes, the relationship is good, but Microsoft wanted to make sure that things were said in a very specific way, or at least their VP of marketing, Aaron Greenberg, because there's emails that were leaked, not leaked, accidentally made public, that shows just how much they're getting into the terms of all this stuff. And Greenberg says that Microsoft should avoid calling the Switch a console as, quote, it really is a portable gaming device, end quote. And he says, quote, the more people realize they need to buy our console, meaning the Xbox, to play these games, not get caught up in a title like Ori on Switch, the better, end quote. So he's saying like, okay, we can put stuff on the Switch. That's fine. But as we need people to know that the Xbox is a console. And if you want to play these on a console, you got to get an Xbox because the Switch isn't a console. Splitting hairs, that is so stupid. It's unbelievable. But they want people to know if you want to play Ori on a console, your only option is Xbox because the Switch, it's really not a console.
Right, I get it.
So again, it's stuff that anybody who sees this kind of talk already knows this stuff. Like grandma's not going to be reading this stuff at the store. Like this is stupid.
Yeah.
Anybody who's a gamer already knows the Switch is a hybrid system and the Xbox is just a console. So who are you making these decisions for? Because people that walk in the stores, like I said, grandma or somebody's parents or whatever, aren't going to read the marketing lingo or all this minutia. They're going to talk to the guy behind the counter and be like, where can I get, my kid wants Ori, where can I get it? And they'll be Switch or Xbox.
I love how
the store's not going to be like, but Xbox is the only console you can get it on. Unless they're like an Xbox fanboy and they want to steer them away from that, sure. But you were going to say
I
something.
just
Sorry.
loved how you said Xbox is just a console. I mean, that's perfect. Like the hybrid system, the Switch took everyone by storm. It's so amazing. I mean, I love that thing to death. I think it's my favorite. We've said this before, but they just needed something. Like, they can't market against that. That's the king.
Well,
so they had to come up with something. And it's like, because we're seeing the behind the scenes, it seems so gross and smarmy, but it's really just them trying to save a little face, because they don't have what Nintendo has.
Because hardware manufacturers, the Microsoft and Sony to some degrees, still they know that if they say portable for Switch, there will be a faction of people who think of a portable as lesser, because a portable usually traditionally had inferior graphics or hardware compared to consoles. So they know that there's a piece there that they could say to play into that, even if it's like, so we're so beyond that point now, it's stupid. But they're a traditional publisher, so that's the way they're thinking. And you're right, they're looking for any little edge where they can be like, Xbox is the only console where you can play this, because but that's all they're going to say. They're going to be like, Xbox is the only console where you can play Ori. They're not going to be like under their breath, but it's also on Switch and it's a hybrid. They're going to be like, that's a portable, that doesn't count.
But I think it's smart of them to align themselves with Nintendo. I think that was a smart move, and they look good doing that. And like, Nintendo fans get to play some games that they wouldn't otherwise, and maybe it brings some awareness to Microsoft fans. Who knows?
Microsoft sees gaming as like a all-encompassing thing nowadays, and they're moving more towards like an ecosystem than hardware. Like, I know they have hardware out now, but it's clear they're inching more towards an ecosystem with things like Game Pass and all that. And now we know their 2028 plans. Like, it certainly seems like they're pushing more for that. But you have to wonder, say like Xbox One came out and was even more successful than the 360. Would they still see that as a future for gaming, or would they be like, hardware is the future? I don't know. We can't say. Hindsight's 2020, so we won't ever know what they would say. But would they have put out Ori on Switch if Xbox One was incredibly popular? Well, I don't know. We'll never know. We don't see any emails indicating that they would go any other way. So
now,
I don't know.
The stuff that we know about the Switch successor points to it having a similar form as a Switch, right?
Everything indicates that it's going to be another hybrid. Yeah.
Okay.
And I said, when we talked about it a few weeks ago, I said I really couldn't fault Nintendo for going that way, because they've had such success. It's clear there's a market there. And what does Nintendo do? When they see that something is a hit, they iterate on it, because that's how they always work. So look, it's the same thing that happened again with like the Wii. They made the Wii. It was a hit. Microsoft did Kinect. Sony did Move. And they're like, this was clearly like, we made a shift in the industry. Then let's look at Switch. You had Switch, hybrid system. What do we get after that? Steam Deck. Would the Steam Deck exist without the Switch's success? I don't know. Maybe, but I honestly don't know. And how many other hybrid systems are out there now? Because like Logitech and other and Nvidia and all them, like, they've all done their own hybrid systems, and there's more coming out because Nintendo showed with the Switch there's a success. And then those companies don't understand, like, your hybrid system that you're going to put out is going to reach a fraction of what the Switch did, because the Switch is a hybrid that has Nintendo games. Like, Steam Deck has third-party games. That's, there's a market for that. As big a market as Switch? No, not at all. Because how many PC players are like, I want to play portable? Some do, certainly, but a lot don't, because they want to sit at their computer and play. So I don't know what total I don't know what total Steam Deck sales are at, but they're nowhere near what the Switch is at, because that market's going to be smaller. But when Nintendo, if they go in a hybrid direction again, Nintendo fans are going to go there. And now the people that were wooed by Switch will most likely go there as well. Is it going to be a bigger hit than the Switch? I'm going to say no, but I think it could give it a run for its money. That's my prediction based on, being a Nintendo dork for all my life. So I don't know for sure. System could come out and flop. I don't know. But I think Nintendo's going to look at everything that happened with the Switch and go, this is what got us success. We need to do this again. So I imagine they'll do a Switch successor that's a hybrid. There'll be a couple new bells and whistles. It'll be more powerful. And the first 2 years of that system will have an unbelievable lineup of software. And then as that's coming out, will lead to a more steady cadence of stuff. I think they're going to try and do the same exact progression because it worked so well this time.
Man,
Can it happen again? It certainly could, as long as it's named something that makes sense
Yeah.
and people know it's not an add-on. They know it's a successor.
man, this is exciting
I don't
times.
know.
This is like the times where you get all excited. and
It
tingly.
always makes me excited, but it always makes me very
Nervous.
nervous because I do the same thing I do with all the things I love. Wrestling, I
Not gonna
watch
lie, I'm sweating a
ratings
little
all the
bit.
time. Anime, I'm like, how many people are talking about this? Movies and TV shows I like, are people watching? I do that all the time. And that is worse because I get like weekly data where I'm like, this is up, this is down, what's going on here? But this, with the Switch, it's like we're at 130 million sold. The things that hit, like there's
It
no
can't
worrying
go
about it. It's
anywhere
fine.
but down from here, kind of.
But now we're getting to the Switch successor, and I'm like, oh, here we go again. What's going to happen in the first month, in the first year, and what's my coverage going to look like? Because Wii U era coverage was tough. Obviously, I lost a lot of audience on the site because the Wii U sold 13 million, so
Man.
people didn't care. So it's
Plus, you got the
equal parts exciting and nerve-wracking.
You've got the devil's advocates out there who want to see a success fail and want to see a failure succeed.
Oh, yeah.
So this
So-
time around they want to.
A lot of the message boards that were around when the Switch was coming out, we were getting from the Wii U to the Switch, had their prediction threads of like, will the Switch be a success? And it's just like, no, all the way down. No, it's going to be a failure. A couple people were like, I could do something. But people posted these threads or reposted these threads because they're like, here's proof that most gamers don't know anything. And I would include myself in that too. We think we know things. I know things about games, but when it comes to sales and all that, sure, I might have some insight, but you never know what's going to be a
can't
success and
predict
what's
the
not going to be.
future.
Yeah.
You can historically look at things and make
Try.
and guess, but
Yeah.
there's you're not gonna. We all can't be the grubs of the world. You know what I'm talking about?
So it's it just goes to show, armchair analysts are just that, armchair analysts, and the regular professional analysts get things wrong all the time too. So you can predict all you want, you can look at every indicator there is, but you never really know what's going to happen. One thing could steer a piece of gaming hardware to a major success or to an ultimate failure. We'll find out together. All I can tell you is I will be there day one getting whatever it is, because I will always be there. So unless Nintendo's like, we're working with Nazis to make our new system, I'd be like, well, gonna have to bow out on this one. But I don't see
How
them
heartbreaking would that be?
doing that. For Nintendo
How
to say we're
weird
working
would
with
that be?
Nazis, right? We have partnered with Kanye West on our new I'd be like, oh god,
And
no.
it's called the Switch successor, and it's got like SS, says
Yep,
it's like
yep,
little.
that's it. You're right.
It'd be awful.
System sells itself. Kuribo says, I like to refer, most upvoted comment, by the way. Kuribo says, I like to refer to Microsoft as a third-party publisher. It's not wrong. They make hardware, but I get what you're saying.